Hi, welcome back. Let us learn class 9 NCERT Political Science, the chapter 2, that is what is democracy and why democracy. So here we have to learn the arguments of the democracy, and here pro people have the right to elect their leaders, and here lack of awareness may lead them to make wrong choices. These are the two differences between democracy, that is non-democratic and democratic country. So we already discussed about the merits of democracy in the previous class. Again we have to recap that. So what are the merits of democracy? First one is a democratic government is a better government because it is a more accountable form of government. And second point, that democracy is improves the quality of decision making, and third one is democracy provides a method to deal with the differences and conflicts. So here democracy is better than any other form of government because it represents the needs of the people. It does not depend on the whims of the rulers or the dictator. In simple words, we can say the democracy is for the people. It is an accountable form of government. And the third point, that is democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. We already discussed about conflicts and all, and it is suitable the countries like India having diversity. So democracy provides peaceful solution to every problem. It provides the best method of dealing with differences and conflicts, and it suits the needs of many countries like India with diversity of language, religious and castes and creeds, like that. Okay, discussions lead to the solution of every problem, so it keeps our country united. And democracy is based on the political equality, which ensures equal rights both for the rich and poor, and the educated and the uneducated also. Thus, in a way, democracy enhances the dignity of every citizen. It is only in the democracy that mistakes are admitted, and all attempts are made to correct these mistakes. So democracy provides the opportunity to the citizens to flourish according to their ability. So this is the merits of democracy. So coming to the arguments against direct democracy. So what are the arguments we can see in the democracy? So it include, first one, involvement in the decision making process is impossible for the large majority of citizens. So direct involvement in the political process would slow down politics and would potentially damage democracy. And the third one is, the problems for referendums include the lack of technical knowledge and the part of citizens that limits their ability to take informed decisions. So here we can see instability. Instability means under democracy, leaders and political parties keep changing. So this leads to the political instability. And the second point is low mortality. That means democracy is all about political competition and power play. So there is no scope for mortality. And the third thing is delays in decision making. So it may be occur decision making, it will take more time. So all the decisions are to be approved and discussed in the parliament, and many people and institutions are to be consulted. So it leads to delayed decision making. And the fourth one is bad decisions. So it may be occur as most of leaders do not know the best interest of the people. It leads to bad decisions. So these are the few arguments against democracy, and it leads to the we can say corruption. As the democracy is based on the electoral competition, it leads to the corruptions. That means many political parties used muscle and money power to come to the power. So illiterate and politically unconscious voters. In most of the developing countries, voters are illiterate and politically unconscious, so they elect wrong candidates. So these are the few arguments against democracy. And coming to the Another point, democracy, first, that is improves the quality of, if we take the democratic country, it improves the quality of decision making, and it's like accountable for the reproachable form of government, and they have equal dignity and every vote has equal value, and they can criticize and protest, and they may do strikes and correct the mistakes. So the all religion, caste, language or color will be equally treated. So coming to the China's famine. So in 1958 and 1958 to 1961 was the worst recorded famine in the world. So history, nearly 3 crore people died. Why? Because the government in China did not respond the problem of food scarcity. So that means here what happened, the government in if China had multi-party elections and opposition party and press free to criticize the government, then so many people may not have died in the famine. So here we have to understand China's famine in 1958 and 1961 was the worst recorded famine in the world, because nearly 300 crore people died in this. During these days, India's economic condition was not much better than China, yet India did not have a famine of the kind China had. So economists think that this was a result of different government policies in the two countries. So the existence of the democracy in India made the Indian government respond to food scarcity in a way that the Chinese government did not. So these are the differences between democratic and non-democratic governments. So they point to here, coming to the this Chinese government, they point out that no large-scale famine has ever taken place in the independent and a democratic country. If China too had multi-party elections, an opposition party and a press free to criticize the government, then so many people may not have died in the famine. So this is the few examples of the governments. So you can observe this cartoon. This cartoon is from Brazil, a country that has long experience of dictatorship. It is entitled that the hidden side of dictatorship. You can see this picture will be showing that is the hidden side of dictatorship. Which hidden sides does this cartoon depict? So it is represents like that. So here hidden side of dictatorship is massacre or opposes the policies of the dictator is killed. Since the dictators control the media, the public never comes to know the number of people killed. So this is the situation in the Brazil during that time. So first argument, what is the first argument? So the example brings out one of the reasons why democracy is considered the best form of government, which we learnt in the China during 1958 to 1961. So reasons why democracy is considered best form of government. So democracy is better than any other form of government in responding to the needs of the people, and a non-democratic government may and can respond to the people needs, but it all depends on the wishes of the people who rule. If the rulers don't want to, they don't have to act according to the wishes of the people. So this is the difference between the democracies, and democracy requires that the rulers have to attend to the needs of the people. So here the first argument, that is a democratic government is a better government because it is a more accountable for the government, as we discussed, like that it is instability, low mortality and delay in the decision making. So there is another reason why democracy should lead to better decision, because any non-democratic government or a democracy is based on consultation and discussions and meetings. When a number of people put their heads together, they are able to point out possible mistakes in any decision. So this takes time, but there is a big advantage in taking time over important decisions. Why? Because this reduces the chances of rash or irresponsible responsibilities. So thus democracy improves the quality of decision making. So this is the second point of argument of democracy. So coming to the third argument. So this is related to the third argument, that is democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. So you can say in any society people are born to have differences of opinions and interests. So these differences are particularly sharp in a country like ours, India, which has an amazing social diversity. So people belong to different religions, they speak different languages and they practice different religions and have different castes. So they look at the world very differently and have different preferences also. So these preferences of one group can clash with those of other groups. So this is the third argument. So the conflict can be solved by brutal power. Whichever group is more powerful will dictate its terms and others will have to accept that. But that would lead to the resentment and unhappiness. So different groups may not be able to live together for long in such a way, and democracy provides the only peaceful solution to these problems. In the democracy, no one is a permanent winner, no one is a permanent loser. Different groups can live with one another peacefully. And in a diverse country like India, democracy keeps our country together. So these three arguments were about the effects of democracy and the quality of government and social life. But the strongest argument for the democracy is not about what democracy does to the government. It is about what democracy does to the citizens. Even if democracy does not bring about better decisions and accountable government, it is still better than other forms of government. Like democracy enhances the dignity of citizens. As we discussed above, democracy is based on the principles of political equality and recognizing that the dignity of citizen. So again we have to recap this merits of democracy. Finally, the democracy is better than other forms. Why? Because these points you can remember. And it allows us to correct its own mistakes. So you can observe this, as we saw above, there is no guarantee that mistakes cannot be made in democracy. No form of government can guarantee that. So that advantage in the democracy is that such mistakes cannot be hidden for long. There is a space for public discussion on these mistakes, and there is a room for correction also. Either the rulers have to change their decisions or the rulers can be changed. So this cannot happen in a non-democratic government. For example, if you people are not means they are not interested and they are not feeling good that they selected the ruler, they may have a right to change him, like that. Let us sum it up. Democracy cannot get us everything and it is the solution to all problems, but it is clearly better than any other alternative that we know. So it offers better chances of the good decision. It is likely to respect people's own wishes and allows different kinds of the people to live together. So even when it fails to do some of these things, it allows a way of correcting its mistakes and offers more dignity to all citizens also. That is why democracy is considered the best form of government. So you can see this cartoon was published in Canada just before its parliamentary elections of 2004. Everyone, including the cartoonist, expected the Liberal Party to win once again. When the results came, the Liberal Party lost the elections. So, is this cartoon an argument against democracy or for democracy. See here you can observe this person, conversation what he is talking about. So here you can see another thing is that is broader meaning of democracy. So in this chapter we understood the meaning of democracy, and in a limited and descriptive sense we have understood democracy as a form of government. This way of defining democracy helps us to identify a clear set of minimal features that a democracy must have. So the most common form that the democracy takes in our times is that of the representative democracy. You have already read about this in the previous classes. In the countries we call democracy, all the people do not rule. A majority is allowed to take decisions on behalf of all the people. Even the majority does not rule directly. The majority of people rule through their elected representatives. This becomes necessary because modern democracies involve such a large number of people that it is physically impossible for them to sit together and take a collective decision. And the second point, even if they could, the citizen does not have the time to, the desire or the skills to take part in all the decisions. So this gives us a clear but minimal understanding of democracy. This clarity helps us to distinguish democracies from non-democracies, but it does not allow us to distinguish between the democracy and a good democracy. So it does not make a sense. So here you can see comparisons of democratic and non-democratic governments. So it allows us to operation of the democracy behind government. For this we need to turn it to broader meaning of comparison between democratic and non-democratic. Here in democratic government, people elect their rulers and have right to decision making. So coming to the non-democratic, people do not elect their rulers and have no right in decision making. So here the parliament is a separate body and has no interference of army. So here in the non-democratic, the parliament cannot pass the law about the army without the consent of chief army. Okay, so this is the features of democracy. In a democracy, the final decision making power must rest with those who elected by the people. A democracy must be based on the free and fair elections, where those currently in the power have a fair chance of losing. In a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote, and each vote must have one value. So democratic government rules within limits set by the constitutional law and the citizens' right. And the opposition parties are allowed to function freely before and after the elections. So the democratic governments are based on fundamental principles of the political equality. So you can see these examples, like a first one, the king of Bhutan has declared that in the future he will be guided by the advice given to him by elected representatives. So this is feature that is major decisions by elected leaders in this case of the government. So many Tamil workers who migrated from India were not given to a right to vote in Sri Lanka. So this is one person, one vote and one value. So the king of Nepal imposed a ban on political gatherings, demonstrations and rallies. This is respect for rights. So the Indian Supreme Court held that the dissolution of Bihar Assembly was unconstitutional, that is rule of law. So that is political parties in Bangladesh have agreed that a neutral government should rule the country at the time of elections. That is free and fair electoral competition. So these are the few examples for the democratic and non-democratic countries. So here you can observe the democratic countries examples like United States, United Kingdom, South Africa, Australia, Canada, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Iran, Turkey, Israel, Sweden, Germany, France, Ireland, Norway. So these are actually all of this for democratic governments. So which are the non-democratic government countries? So Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates and Qatar, Bahrain, Brunei, Morocco and Jordan, Venezuela and Cuba and Turkmenistan. These are the non-democratic governments. So I hope you this video will be informative. Thank you for watching.